People deluded, I'm back again. Now, Arsenal captain Laurent Koscielny has announced his retirement on an international basis, so he's retired from France. I mean, he's 33 years of age now, so it shouldn't come as a shock to anyone. I can't imagine anybody shocked by this. I could be wrong, people, but I'm sure he's mentioned something about retiring from France previously. If I'm mistaken, then forgive me. But either way, he's announced his retirement. Via the means in which he's announced his retirement, I think he's on top of that, giving an interview with Canal. Forgive me if I've mispronounced it. A French-based TV station, and he said a lot. To be honest with you, a lot of honesty from him. I'll get onto that in a bit, but yeah, he's announced his retirement. 33 years of age. I don't want to say he would have won the World Cup if he was fit and playing for France, because if he was on the pitch, maybe something else happens. That's not to me saying he'll mess up or anything like that. It's just very linear to suggest that. But if we just stop overcomplicating things, yes, he would have a World Cup, and it's a bitter pill to swallow, as it must have been for Royce in 2014 with Germany. Being injured, missing out on a World Cup space where you would have had a shoo-in of being in the squad at some capacity, and you could forgive him for saying that. The bit that shocked me the most is he actually basically said a part of him wanted France to lose, and when you consider national pride and the magnitude and the selflessness for a team beyond if even you can play, a bit rubs me up the wrong way, but a bit of me understands it. I understand it because yeah, you must have felt every possible human emotion. You must have been like it's gutting, like it's gutting to be injured and be just to be injured and get the verdict he did in terms of his injury, his long absence, not being able to play football and do your profession and do what you've been making you money for a number of years now. Obviously the France thing is it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to say you would have a part of you wanted them to lose is a bit mad, but yeah, that would go through not my I don't it wouldn't go through my mind, people. I won't lie to you, but it'll go through some other people's mind and all of them things there. So yeah, the industry he's alluded to his injuries affected him a lot psychologically, and he's actually said France's victory in the final hurt me a lot more than my injury psychologically. So you can see the severity in which it's hit him. I mean, to even play at a World Cup is a career highlight for many players and would be for many players, let alone win it, potentially win it. Tell your grandkids, your kids will tell their grandkids long after you're gone, and that's the highest honour anyone could win in football, in my opinion. And even if we just look at it, obviously it's not the army, people, but it's essentially the highest ranking medal you could essentially get if you was an army man in terms of national pride, and you're essentially representing your country in the same vein. Obviously people are not on the battlefield, but you get the point. So yeah, man, for me anyways, his retirement's obviously from a selfish Arsenal fan point of view. I'm thinking, how does this correlate with your immediate Arsenal future? He's injured. He's injured. If we just look at it, he's injured at this moment in time. We don't know when he comes back, his level, something he's admitted. We don't know his playing level. We don't know how much this injury's taken out of him. He's just turned 33. He was 32 not too long ago. Let's be fair to him. But yeah, we don't know if he's necessarily going to start and be first choice. There's a lot of question marks. He's targeted with coming back in November, early November or something. So there's still a lot of question marks. How it relates to Arsenal's, because I look at it away from your injury. If I put myself in his shoes, you've got to start thinking smart. Like, money's not everything, but money's important. He's missed a big contract because he's not 28 and that anymore. But he needs to think about his legs. He needs to really think about his legs. If this Arsenal thing isn't going to work in terms of retiring, he needs to be able to play somewhere else. So similar to Vardy, different stages, but similar to Vardy, are they being a bit smarter now? Okay, we've played at the major tournaments now, as Koscielny has historically missing this one. Do I allow my body to rest a bit now, rest my legs, not playing the amount of friendlies? And even if he did target Euro 2020, there's the qualification stage, assuming he's fit and he gets selected and he plays a part. Qualification stage, Arsenal's domestic campaign. Imagine we're still in Europa League, that's more games on top of that. If he gets to the Euros, that's more games on top of that, and his contract ends in 2020 as well. So that would be a massive gamble. Or if he just concedes that he's like he said, psychologically and mentally, he's giving all he can for France. It's a new era. He's 33. He's not exactly going to make the next World Cup. It's a push to even make Euro 2020, and you just concede defeat. And for me personally as well, it does look like I wouldn't say he needs a new situation, like he needs to join a new club, but I remember he must be going through, especially in the last 18 months, a serious, I don't want to say crisis, but in football terms, a midlife crisis of sorts, just purely football, because last 18 months he's actually been scrutinised. He's no longer Koscielny, the one where if Arsenal got battered, he's the one that you can say at least he was trying to mop up and damage limitation sort of thing. He's not that. 18 months, it's been evident he's not the guy. Sadly, he's been injured. You add the World Cup. Even if you remember when a trusted fellow when Wenger left, he said something months later. It came out, and I think I made a video on it as well. How I felt it was the right time to leave Arsenal of sorts. To be honest, he didn't. I'm not being exactly fair to him because there's no context, but you get the point in it. Especially when you consider his age. Was it time to move on? We've also got to talk about Deschamps as well, because I must admit, I don't. I'll get onto that a bit later. But what he said on Deschamps is on Didier Deschamps. Sorry, he called me He called me once for my birthday in September. Otherwise, no. Lots of people disappointed me. Not only the coach, it feels like a hit on the back of the head. He then went on to say, in regards to his international career as well, France's World Cup victory did a lot more psychological damage than my injury did to me. I think that I've given everything for France, everything I can for France. I'm 33, I've done 2 Euros, 1 World Cup. France has a great generation of great young players now. My injury does not change my decision. For France, it is finished. And then on his psychological difficulties, he said, when you're in good form, you have lots of friends. And after a certain period of time, when you're injured, after a certain period of time, you're forgotten about. So that's hard hitting stuff, man. I mean, he's more or less said he's been alone. Obviously, his family and there's been people close to him and doing right by him. But more or less, everyone, when you're riding high and everybody loves you, you got so many friends. When you times of darkness and when you really need people, nobody's there. And footballers are no different, essentially. It's a bit cold from Deschamps. I mean, on one hand, I don't believe anybody owes you anything, because I do think to call him once on his birthday and say happy birthday, considering Koscielny is one of the most senior members of your side, and he's one of the members you was looking to call up, and he sadly got injured. Just from a compassionate point of view, it is quite sickening. But on the other hand, I don't necessarily think Deschamps owes him nothing, because he didn't wish it on him. He didn't do it to him. It's sad, but actually when family members have died or I've gone through tragedies, I've always remembered, no matter how much I might feel about a situation, good or bad, life goes on. Like life goes on. He still needs to select X, Y, and Z for